Hello, my name is Nelsonator, and I'm here with my friend,
I'm Paris Torch.
and this is Let's Play Mega Man Battle Network 6, Cybeast Gregar. Last time, we lost faith in Prosecutor Ido, after the reveal that he works for an organization, Organization 13, that wants to claim the Door to Darkness by sentencing everyone to prison, and he's been sentenced to remove our dad by throwing him in jail and getting him electrocuted for 100 hours. So we need to make it through the judge tree and stop him. This has an interesting gimmick where you cannot backtrack through the judge tree, otherwise you will be punished. So we're going to go through, just kind of show off, like, here's how you sort of walk along the path so that you don't have to, like, retrace your steps. Every time we get to a new puzzle, I'll sort of, like, back out and show myself, sort of figure out how to get through here. It's kind of fun to go to sort of figure out, like, this is the way you go. The thing that it most reminds me of is something from the era where in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, the 8th gym had you walk through, like, a bunch of tiles to crack every single one of them before you could walk up the stairs. Fortunately, you don't have to step on every tile here because the geometry doesn't support it, but it's kind of funny to look back on that and immediately see that first 3x3 area and be like, how am I supposed to step on all the squares? Just realize that your brain is sort of broken from that.
I definitely, when I was playing this, had flashbacks to the time mentally solving those puzzles in Ruby and Sapphire. And yeah, as much as possible, I tried to plant as much grass as I could with the pattern that they allowed. Obviously, like the dead end single square like that we just saw, you're never going to fill that one in.
Yep. The other fun thing about this, too, is, like, they'll put the mystery data in places where sometimes you have to go out of your way for it, like here, or sometimes if you go straight for the mystery data and you're not thinking too hard about things, you'll end up causing problems for yourself. So it's kind of fun, it's kind of challenging. I'm glad it shows up for the Judgment Tree and doesn't really come back, because once you sort of get your handle on it, this is a really easy dungeon. Compared to, like, the aquarium, where, like, I put this game down for, like, a week because I just didn't want to do the aquarium, like, I rolled straight into the judge tree because it's actually kind of fun to just think a little bit about what's going on here and be like, yeah, I'm smart, I know what I'm doing. So, yeah, it's the judge tree is really fun.
I love that they had that loop there for seemingly no reason.
Yeah, it's just a loop. If you're not pressing the L button to look around, you might, like, see that and be like, oh man, I'm gonna have to think really hard about where I'm going. And I'm very glad that they kept, like, the L and pan, because, like, this would be really difficult to do without it. But then again, like, a lot of, like, old RPGs will do blind maze navigation design, and I'm kind of glad this isn't that.
Although it kind of begs the question, how does Lan have a view of the net that's separate from what Mega Man sees?
Yeah.
Like, game design perspective, it makes sense for us to have this isometric perspective of walking around, but I'm just curious as to how Lan specifically is getting a view on his pet. Is there just a quote-unquote invisible camera hanging above Mega Man's head in the net showing everything around him at all times? If so, why did they specifically choose this one perspective?
Yeah, right? Because you miss a lot of things from this perspective, so it'd be nice to see a little something else at some points. I also hang out there so I can draw the shrubby in close enough to get hit with the Mega Boomer. Yeah. That chip is just going to be doing a lot of work for me for a very long time, it seems. This one's also kind of fun, because you have to run all the way to the side to hit this switch before you sort of loop around everything. Like, if you go straight for the mystery data, you immediately make it so that you can't solve this puzzle and cause yourself some problems going forward. So,
And you
yeah, you
forgot the S-shaped snake around and getting as many as possible.
Yeah, you gotta be careful and you gotta be deliberate in order to succeed here. So yeah, another thing to note, we've completely upgraded from Metars to Metar 2s. Now what they decide to do is, if you're not looking directly at them or they're not the active one, they'll hide in their shield. And hiding in the shield means that they can they won't take damage from many things. If you have breaking chips that will one-shot Kragers, you can also get through the Metar shield, but it's also easier to sort of compartmentalize when they're going to attack and then set yourself up to hit them for the counter timings of all 3 of them in a row. But this one's kind of fun because there's Mystery Date over here, and then a whole lot of nothing otherwise. Like, if this were an old school RPG game, you just pick one of the 4 paths and you'd just be immediately screwed by it. So, like, them throwing in the L camera to pan around here is a really good way to sort of throw you a bone and make sure that you can handle it. And I'm also now thinking, like, yeah, the other fun thing is those blue little squares there sort of impede your progress so you can't go diagonally between squares. And, like, it's kind of nice for them to include that in so that you can't, like, screw yourself up in a very strange way. But, like, in case you have to come back here to pick up some, like, battle chips that you missed, or to, I don't know, find rare viruses or something, it can get a little frustrating to wander around here, because, like, the controller I'm using doesn't want to be held in diagonal positions very much. So I like to just, like, rub myself against the wall all the way there, because it's easier than, like, putting the controller where it doesn't want to be.
Yeah, that is definitely something that I think other isometric games have done better, where they just specifically have up, down, left, and right mapped to the different angled positions of the world, and you just subtly adjust. Oh, when I press up, he'll actually walk up and to the right, and over time your brain just naturally orientates itself and gets used to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit frustrating then to have those control schemes where, no, pressing up makes you walk straight up, even if nothing in the world is ever arranged that way.
Yeah, Disgaea, as I remember, has that, like, sort of rotation where you press up on the control stick and you move, like, up right or up left or something. And Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which also came out on this console, also has, like, you press up and left, you press up and you go, like, up and left, you know? It's also really fun when you get to those games where, like, you press a direction, like you're expecting Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, you want to go up left, and instead you go up right because you're in Disgaea, and that can be really confusing. But
yeah, that is something.
Yeah, but we've made it to the skull. Somebody's going to be here. I found something to expand the memory in here, and I'm like, can I fit folder back in? Can I fit body pack in here? Nope, it's just too big. So I try to rearrange things so I can slip more onto here. Just get a little bit more of an advantage before this really evil Navi that knows who we are. I need any advantage I can get. So I like how I just put speed max on there, because even though I've got, like, the buster pack and the speed +1, like, speeding me up for things. Like, I totally didn't need to do that, but alright. Just throw it on there.
Also, there are very few occasions where I think speed matters in the way that I play, at least.
It really doesn't.
Try not to use the main buster fire.
Yeah, like, the charge shot, when you're in any cross, is really good, so you want to have charge plus so that you get them quicker. And even still, like, just charging up for 50 damage is really good, instead of just, like, spamming the B button and locking yourself into place.
Mm-hmm.
Also, hey, this is who the evil Navi is. It's Colonel. If you played Mega Man Battle Network 5, you either had Colonel with you for the entire game when you were playing Team Colonel version, or if you were playing Team Proto Man, he would show up once late game and once for the ending. And that would be it. So, depending upon which games you played up to this point, you might know who Colonel is, or you may not know who Colonel is at all. And in some ways, it feels like there's a personality shift between his original appearance and now, but maybe that's also because now he is appearing as your opponent, as opposed to as your friend. They've also changed Colonel's angle here, where before it was sort of at like a 45-degree angle so you could see both sides of his face, but now he's looking down at you from the side there in profile. Like, this is a very good way of turning him from, like, yeah, you know, this guy was friendly, to this guy's cold as ice and he's gonna mess you up. Also, somebody else is in here, and they're picking a fight with Colonel.
Wow, that was a blazing fast attack.
Wow, who can go that quick and slash people? Who could possibly do this? One of the other fun things is that Colonel is a reference to Mega Man X4, where there was a Colonel in that game. there was also an iris in that game too, and we'll talk more about that game's relationship to this game when we get to the proper reveal of what's going on here. But for the short term, we gotta fight Judgeman. I like how his like pants just flare out into the toes of his shoes there, how he's got like the two things that become the cape, he's got a long cloak, and he's got like a book for a hat there. Like the book's just kind of folded up and we see the spine facing forward, but like this is one classy navvy here. He's really good.
Being nice is a good thing.
Yeah.
Good dialogue there, Lamb.
I also like how he sort of has like that, well, not Old English or Middle English, but like older English, you know, like Shakespeare.
Yes, Elizabethan.
Yeah.
Although now I see it, I just think of Persona. I am thou.
I am thou art thee, art thou art thee. Stick your hand in the TV, do it. But yeah, Judgeman, unfortunately, is a pretty easy fight. He hangs out in the back row. He moves one space into the back row, moves into another space in the back row that you're not in front of, and then he hops in front of you to whip you. And then he just repeats that. And then he can summon a bunch of books to kind of chase you around, but he's not fast. He doesn't have any tricks at all. You just kind of hit him when he comes up in front to you, revealing himself entirely to do damage. Like,
now, you mentioned earlier with Von Karma that there are, other examples of this judge or lawyer stereotype with a whip that exist, and that Capcom specifically used. I have no idea why that's such a popular thing that, we got to have our judge/lawyer characters wielding whips.
Yeah. Yeah, because Francisca Von Karma? That's her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
She brings a whip into the courtroom and whips people while she's, prosecuting people, which seems really, not okay. But here, it's just Judgeman's got it, and he just whips you for punishment. I guess it's supposed to be, like, the whole punishment axe thing, like how people whip bowls and stuff, and how people used to get, like, whipped for doing bad things. I guess that's what it's supposed to represent, but, like, in this day and age, it seems really cruel, I'm also glad they were able to, like, get the tree back online without, like, the dude who architected and designed the entire tree. I also like how he doesn't even get a defense attorney either. It's just him and the newbie prosecutor over there. Like, that guy's first case is to prosecute against Ito, who designed the judge tree. Like, that seems a little bit unbalanced to me, Even if Ito is representing himself, he probably has a pretty darn good idea of what the law is like to be able to program it into the judge tree. I also like Mick gets punished like that guy from the beginning of the game got punished, where he gets the bucket on his head. At least he wasn't caught sneaking a stack and got taken away to the punishment room. But this is here to really confirm, yes, Beryl and Colonel are here. They're evil. We recognize that sprite from Mega Man Battle Network 5. And here he is monologuing to our next from the Rogues Gallery, named Vic. And that operation. I'll get you that program, you'll see. Also, with his teeth there, like, he really seems like he's sneering anytime he's talking. Like, Vic's got a really strong design.
Oh no! He mentioned the organization by name. The World 3.
World 3? Also, like, one of the fun things is, in Mega Man Battle Network 1, when World 3 was first introduced, they say, "We, the WWW, parentheses, World 3, close parentheses." So they have to teach you how to pronounce it.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So they're just sort of assuming from there on that you just know it's World 3. I also like how we're introducing the next place we're going to go, Skytown, with, hey, here's Mr. Weather. He controls the weather so that, you can accurately predict everything that's going on. So yeah, we're going to go to Skytown soon. Skytown is hanging out like 30,000 feet in the air. I think that's like on the order of magnitude of how high up like Mount Everest is. So it's really far up there.
Yeah, also the fact that in this future, not only do we have perfect control over, or not, I shouldn't say perfect control with how often things go wrong, but tied into net society, we've also learned how to control the weather. That's something we did.
I mean, yeah, they did that in Battle Network 2. Like, they could, like, like push away or like push back like the time that earthquakes and tsunamis and like solar radiation would strike, and like the computer that held all that back was threatened in two. So like weather control, yeah, that's just that on a much smaller scale. But the way things turn out is really kind of fun in this game. So thank you all for watching. Have a nice day.
See ya.